Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Olga George. I'm the City of Pittsburgh and Mayor Ed Gainey's press secretary. And today we are holding a celebration, the power of community, partnership, and the incredible impact of the Stop the Violence Fund. Now, this fund is more than a line item. It's a promise to our neighborhoods, our youth, and our future. Today, you'll hear from voices across the city, grassroots advocates, and elected leaders who all are working together to create lasting peace and opportunity for our neighborhoods. As you can see by the billboards before you, the Stop the Violence Fund is creating real impact. That impact is hitting on the overall homicides of African Americans in the city of Pittsburgh. As you can see from the numbers, 2022 started with 71. 2024, we're down to 42. Black males, it was 63. Now in 2024, it's 39. Black women, in 2022, it was 8. 2024, we dropped to 3. But most importantly, teens under the age of 18. 2022, we had 7, and in 2024, we had 0 people. 0. That is the testament of not just the government, and thankfully our Pittsburgh police officers, but the grantees of the Stop the Violence Fund. Hear that word? Stop the Violence Fund. The grantees, the boots on the ground in these neighborhoods are the ones who help prevent this and create this number. Now, it is my honor to bring forward someone whose energy and commitment to community always lights up the room. Deputy Chief of Staff, Phyllis D. Williams.
Thank you, OG. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
We're gonna try that one more time. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Much better. First, I want to thank each of you for being here today to celebrate a historic milestone for our city, and most importantly, to recognize the incredible work being done by our community-based organizations. Today, we stand united to honor the power of grassroots leadership in saving lives, keeping families together, and healing our neighborhoods. This event marks the official signing of the Stop the Violence Fund 2025 Community Investment Grants Bill, awarding funding that will empower 39 community organizations to continue their vital on-the-ground work in impacted neighborhoods. These organizations are not just recipients of grants. They are guardians of our communities, advocates for change, and partners in the ongoing efforts to build a safer, more resilient Pittsburgh. Over the past 3 years, Pittsburgh has seen a notable decline in violence, one of the highest in the country. And that's no coincidence. It's in large part because of the relentless dedication of community members who refuse to give up, who organize, advocate, and show up day after day, often under-resourced and overworked, but never without the courage and passion for the future of their neighborhoods. Our success so far is measurable, not just in statistics, but in the lives saved, the families protected, the neighborhoods beginning to heal. And this is just the beginning. We are committed to building on this momentum, to expanding opportunities for partnership and collaboration with the City of Pittsburgh in our gun violence prevention strategy. Together, we will continue to invest in solutions that work, mentoring our youth, mediating conflicts, addressing poverty, supporting families, and creating safe spaces for all. This collective effort is transforming lives and, by extension, transforming our city. Let me be bold. This is a shared victory. It's a victory for every community member who voices their concerns, who shows up and refuses to accept the status quo. Never let anyone discourage you from exercising your right to petition your government. You are not intimidating. I'm going to repeat that. You are not intimidating. You are making your voice heard and holding the people elected to represent you accountable. Your participation is essential, and it exemplifies the power of civic engagement in a representative democracy. Your voice is what drives change. Last week's unanimous vote by City Council approving nearly $1.8 million, the largest single award in the history of the Stop the Violence Fund community investment grants, is a testament to what we can accomplish when we come together. The end of this year through 2026, our ecosystem will see an additional $800,000 to push us even further. And the results are clear. You heard our Press Secretary, Olga George, talk about some of those statistics over the last 3 years, actual counts of lives that have been saved from 2022 through the end of 2024. But in addition, we have seen so far this year, compared to the same period in 2024, a 37% reduction in homicides. These are lives being saved, families kept intact, and futures protected. So today, I want to thank the community organizations, advocates, and residents, many of whom are standing behind me right now, who are leading the charge, because your work is making a difference and it's inspiring. As we look ahead, I want to invite everyone here and those watching to continue to partner with us. The city remains committed to long-term peace, safety, and neighborhood renewal. Our work is far from over, and together we will keep striving for progress. Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our representatives here from Public Safety and the Office of Community Services and Violence Prevention for their dedication and hard work alongside our community-based organizations. We could not do this work without them as well. We have represented here our Public Safety Director, Lee Schmidt. We have represented Assistant Director for the Office of Community Services and Violence Prevention, David Jones. We have Ian Reynolds, who's a member, the Stop the Violence Coordinator, and we also have, I think I saw Solomon Armstead back here as well, from the Office of Community Services and Violence Prevention. Now, it is my honor to introduce someone who plays a vital role in this effort, including serving on the Stop the Violence Fund Steering Committee, our City Council President, Daniel Lavelle. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wish I could simply say ditto to everything Director Williams just said, but what I will say is, in my opinion, this is government at its best. This is government acknowledging that our primary role, or one of our primary roles, is the health and welfare and the public safety of the citizenry. And I wish our federal government took it this seriously as well. But this is also an example of when both sides of the hall come together for the better good. This is an example of City Council investing in the safety of our community. This is an example of City Council working with the mayor, who has worked tirelessly to implement this fund to ensure these funds were getting into the hands of those who needed it the most. This is an example of government working collaboratively alongside one another. And I want to thank the mayor and his administration for all they've done. The other reason this is an example of government at its best, because it's not government dictating to the community what needs to happen. It's government actually listening to those on the ground. It's government actually investing of the individuals who are on the ground doing the hard work. This is not government coming in heavy-handed into a community and saying, we're going to patrol your community, we're going to crack down. It's government saying, you know what's best, you know how to solve these problems, and therefore we're going to invest in you so you can save yourself. Ms. Williams already did it, but I also want to thank all those standing behind me for their tirelessly efforts in their community to put on programming to keep kids, off the street, reduce the homicides, and keep our community safe. So thank you for all those standing behind me, all the other 39 organizations that are being funded this round, and I thank you all for investing in ourselves. We're here to save ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President Lavelle. Well said. Now, you heard from the government officials. Now let's hear from the individuals who have the boots on the ground in the community. It's my pleasure to bring forth first Ms. Jasmine Green, the creator. She is the creator-director of One Hood Media, who will be able to highlight the themes of transformation, hope, and youth development through their program that changes the narrative and outlook these young people see of themselves through creating their own media. Ms. Jasmine?
Hi. Yoga. I'm not great at speaking off the cuff, so I prepared a quick statement. First, I just want to thank Council for approving the dispersal of funds for Stop the Violence, as well as your willingness to engage with us community partners about your calls for transparency and to bridge divides and understanding so that we can all work better together. It's incredibly important. I also want to thank Felicity for your organizing efforts to make sure that those of us who are passionate about this work are able to speak directly with our elected representatives. This work is incredibly special to us. There is a feeling of reclamation in programs like Fridays on Deck. We often recount the story that led to the start of this program. For those who don't know, there was a late night standoff between police officers and a group of 40 or so kids at a local park who told us that they just wanted to have space after school or after practice that just felt safe to be with one another. Somewhere that wasn't home, that wasn't a store where they could be kicked out if they behaved as kids often do, where they could be loud with one another and engage in unsurveilled joy. We often talk about the data we received about the drop in violent crime that took place following each of our events, but what we often don't get a chance to talk about is what safety means in real time. Seeing teenagers grow up over 4 summers, finally being able to relax and feel ownership over a space that was always theirs to have. That there is a deeper sense of what safety can mean with kids learning CPR training in the park, continuing the legacy of the creation of EMS in the Hill, as well as STI testing and access to legal clinics. It means closing the gap for shoes and school supplies going into a new school semester. It means learning self-defense techniques on the green alongside leaning on us to mediate conflict so that the park stays neutral space. It means being introduced to younger siblings and cousins for whom it's their first time joining us at the park. Full families coming to the park, parents excited to talk with us about future offerings, or just happy to see that we've been able to return for another year. In our accompanying program, We Keep Us Safe, this is a cohort that examines current events and community-based strategies for youth between the ages of 14 and 26. It is the highlight of our week for so many of us on the arts and education wing of our organization. These are incredible youth leaders who are discussing with a level of depth and conviction just how important the city is to them and how rapidly to respond to its changing landscape. It is also where some of these kids in this program can finally talk about the incredibly difficult conversations of times where they haven't felt safe and where their safety has been compromised. And so they also find healing through their service to others. All of this is protected through funds that we receive through this program. Again, this work is not only crucial to the health of our city, but it has also been clearly effective, as we can see, again, through the work that we've been able to do. The level of seriousness that we all approach this with is well deserved. I am hoping in the next iteration of this program that there is a continued and expanded investment into these programs so that we can have more opportunities to build an even stronger and safer city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jasmine Green. Next, we will hear from Marty Langford from the West Side Mustangs, who will be able to speak on mentorship, sports as prevention, and of course, the neighborhood engagement. Marty?
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank the mayor's office, city council, and public safety. Ian sent me 1 million emails daily about the Stop the Violence grant. I want to say congratulations to all the grantees who were awarded this 2025 Stop the Violence grant. Speaking from my program, we started this 9 years ago in the West End community. What I noticed, and with a couple of guys for the community, there was nothing for the kids to do in the West End. So we decided to say, let's throw our hat in the ring and start with sports. We started out our first season, 2017, with maybe 90 kids. Today, as I speak, we have 229 kids in our program with another 50 volunteers. When we speak about boots on the ground, this is what we do. As being the president of the West Side Mustangs, we're in the schools, mainly K through 8, as it's a community school. I'm a community partner. Matter of fact, this afternoon I got to be up there today to meet the new principal. This is what we do. Tireless. There's days I'm on the phone to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning trying to make sure the week is going to be okay and the weekends be okay for football. We practice 5 days a week, play on the weekends. We do this all year round because when football's over, then we try to get the kids infused into wrestling, basketball, anything. 2026, we'll be putting together a fun day for all the kids in the city of Pittsburgh. Like I said, our work is never done because there's always a kid that needs our help. The parents lean on us 3 or 4 hours a day to be the stand-in parent while they're at practice, and our biggest thing is, if we got them with us, they can't be doing nothing wrong out in the streets. As we continue to do this each year, I'm sure the Stop the Violence grant, this is the record year for 1.8 million. I hope next year is 3 million. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that because the money we're getting this year, it helps with us to get uniforms, equipment. We have a mentorship program. We need a curriculum, and everyone does this for free. And me being who I am, I don't have a dog in a race, but I do it out of the kindness of my heart and the love for the kids, and I'll continue to do it. But you know, with the tireless effort and the work, and working with the city council, mayor's office, public safety, I hope this continues for years on. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. And let me correct, it's the West Side Mustangs Youth Athletic Association. That is the full name. Next, I would like to bring forward Jordan Schoenberger, who will be highlighting the community healing, support systems, and holistic safety that they do regarding the youth. You've heard about the sports, you have heard about their image. Now you're going to hear regarding to how they use a different way of healing these students. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Schoenberger, Executive Director of Abiding Missions, resident and neighbor in South Pittsburgh. Abiding Missions exists to abide with our neighbors. I encourage all my staff that we're not going to work, we're going to work to live amongst the folks that we serve. And so our office, right? Our office is in a formerly abandoned church on a residential street. And so folks often refer to us as the church. We don't have services on Sunday, but I believe that the services we provide to folks, whether it's on their porch, in their living rooms, in the basement of our building, are holy and sacred to them, in that we're providing them that safety. A number of years ago, as we were building our youth programs, we asked the kids what they wanted to focus on and what they wanted to name the program. And they named themselves Neighbor Makers, because they felt that their superpower in the community was to make neighbors and to be neighbors of each other. And so they started we helped them fill wagons of produce. And we went door to door and passed out fresh produce with our partners at Hilltop Urban Farm and Mount Washington Shop and Save, and passed out fruits and vegetables to our neighbors in a way that they hadn't seen before. They didn't have to leave their home. The kids were going out there and they could see the kids doing good stuff. This week, on this coming Friday, is the 2-year anniversary of the death of a young man in our neighborhood called, whose name is Mohammed Hussein. He was shot on September 19th, 2 years ago. So one of those numbers right there, you can name Mohammed. And we're proud that the following year, Allentown did not have a fatal shooting. Mohammed was a young man we never met before. He was passing through the neighborhood with his aunt who was visiting family and got caught up in some stuff. He was shot in the stomach, broad daylight, 11 a.m. on our property. And so as my staff rushed to see what the bang on the door was, began first aid with him, checking vitals, calling 911, staying on the line until everybody could arrive, and tried to keep this young man alive. And unfortunately, he didn't make it. But we know that our program's closed for that day, being an active crime scene that felt prudent. But within 2 days, our programs were back up and running. We were open the next day, and 2 days later, our after-school program had 100% attendance. And I pulled one girl aside and I said, "Hey, some scary stuff happened this week. Why'd you come back? I wouldn't blame any parents for not bringing their kids back." She said, "Well, my mom and I said that you guys were going to keep me safe, no matter what happened in the neighborhood." And so I believe that everybody up here, and everybody who isn't here as well, who's receiving these funds, are providing safe places for the kids, whether that's a space or a place. And I believe that in the future of Pittsburgh, we won't have to have safe places and safe spaces because it will just be a safe place. We won't have to have designated spaces. So let's keep doing it. All right. Thank you.
You trying to make people cry, Jordan? All right, you succeeded. Jordan is the Executive Director of Abiding Mission. Now, when we talk about safe spaces, I hope everyone understands we're talking about safe spaces for all. For all. And to speak to that idea is Dana Stanley, the Executive Director of Trans United.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I don't like that either. Come on now, y'all can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. First, I want to say thank you to City Council and to Felicity and to the mayor and everyone who had a hand in this. We're talking about inclusion, and inclusion means everyone, and that includes the TLGBTQIA community. I am the Executive Director and founder of Trans Uniting and the co-director of the Community Continuum over on the north side. If you're ever on the north side, come check us out. We have a community center, and we have the only free thrift closet geared towards the TLGBTQIA community in Southwest Pennsylvania. We see about 140, maybe 150 folks a week, and that includes the kids, the TLGBTQIA kids in Pittsburgh, all over the city. Right now, it's dangerous all over America for us, especially trans individuals. They don't have places to go to. but are spaces that are safe. We're the only center of our kind in the city of Pittsburgh right now that is doing the work to protect, to have safe spaces, free food. Just this past weekend, we gave out 120 meals to community members in need from all over the city. Our clothing, people come in all day long. We're open right now, and it's packed in there. I was just checking the cameras. The kids come in, we have kids' clothes, they go shopping. We have toys and everything else, everything in between for children. We have support groups for youth, games, craft night, and everything in between. When we're talking about safe spaces, we have to make sure we're including trans and queer kids. Because right now, they are in danger. They are being murdered, and no one is talking about it. But I'm gonna continue to talk about it. I'm gonna continue to stand up, and I'm gonna continue to have a safe space for all trans and queer people. And I thank the city of Pittsburgh for being on the right side of history and ensuring that our kids have a space to go to that is safe, free, and accessible with clothes, food, game, and just a space for them to be in this time, in this political time. This is warfare on us as queer people and trans people. And Black people. Exactly. Come on now, you gotta say that. Okay? And we're not gonna stand for it here in Pittsburgh, are we? No. I can't, no. We're not gonna stand for it here in Pittsburgh, are we? No. Exactly, that's why we stand up today, and that's why everyone in this room is doing the work on the ground to make sure that our kids, our future, our generation is gonna be safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Dana. Now it is my honor to introduce a leader who stands firmly with our neighborhoods, who believe in the power of grassroots change, and who champions the priority of our route and the safety of every resident in the city. Mayor Ed Gainey has never wavered. Let me say this again. Mayor Ed Gainey has never wavered in his commitment to building a Pittsburgh where every voice is heard, every community is valued, and every child has the chance to thrive. Please join me in welcoming our mayor, a true advocate for safety, equity, and a brighter tomorrow, Mayor Ed Gainey.
Good afternoon, everyone. How you doing? Good afternoon. First, I just want to say thank you. And I want to really say thank you to a couple of people before I start. One, I want to thank the Deputy Chief of Staff, Felicity Williams, for her hard work, for her integrity, and for her ability to not even flinch under the pressure. I tell my team all the time that pressure and adversity is our friend. It's what grows us. Pressure can only do things. It could bust pipes or make diamonds. And it made a diamond out of Felicity Williams. I want to thank my public safety team. I did see Director Lee Smith here. He's in the back. I want to thank Director Smith for his commitment to making sure that our neighborhoods are safe. I want to thank David Jones for ensuring that we had things that had to get done completed. But I want to send a special shout out to Ian Reynolds. I want to thank Ian for his ability to learn and execute on the go. And a lot of times we don't get an opportunity to do that, particularly being young. And a lot of times when our young people do it, we don't give them the love that they truly need. And I just want to say publicly in front of everybody how I appreciate the work of Ian Reynolds. And I'd like for you to give him a warm round of applause. Come shake my hand. See, you can't prepare the next generation unless you truly appreciate what they've done. And I wanted to bring him up and say thank you for your work, brother. You hear me? Thank you. I also want to thank every organization behind me, because I've known how long that they've done this in the midst of not enough funding. I know how long they've done this in the midst of loving our children. And not only loving their children, but playing a role as a mother or a father for many in our community. And so a lot of times when that happens, what happens is we forget to say thank you to each and every one of them for what they do. Because without them, our children wouldn't have a vision or a pathway of not only what they want to be, but what safety looks like. And for us to be here today and talk about what safety looks like, it exercises an unwavering strength and respect to our young people that says that you don't have to die in these streets. You can live in your own self. You can be your own self. You can reject the streets, accept you, not grow old, but grow up. That's right. Grow up. I also want to speak the truth to some things that I believe was unfortunate. For I know if I would have said it, they'd have said I was baiting and things like that. But neither one of them that was behind me came here to intimidate nobody. What they did was they come to exercise a right that they have, that everybody in council has every single day when they believe in the issue, when they show up for an issue, and when they advocate for an issue, not based on trying to be intimidating, but based on the love of our children. We should never confuse the two. Nobody comes to intimidate. We only come to love. You should applaud them for coming to council and fighting and being advocates for our kids and not criticizing them. There's no need when we need to do that. There's no need when we need to do that. Now when we talk about a community demonstrating democracy in action, that is not intimidation, that's called love. I want to thank our city council for all that they've done to pass this, but I want to recognize someone who was really one of the founders of the Stop the Violence Trust Fund. And that's President Council Daniel Lavelle. I want to thank you. It'll be an honor to sign this alongside you. I mean, for your work and your commitment, I don't think you get enough respect for it. We talk about our kids and fighting for our kids, and you stepped up to the plate first. All I did was follow your model. And I want them to see me give you your credit right now, because it's important that they understand that I as mayor, you as council president, but let's take it a step further. Me as Ed Gainey, you as Daniel Lavelle, making sure that our community has a voice to save our kids. I want to say thank you for starting it. See, this is what happens when we come together as a community. Not working in silos, not worrying about what somebody else think about us, not worrying about who's going to try to peel us off of each other for the love of a couple dollars when we do it for the love of our children. A lot of times we have seen this throughout this city in numerous situations. But right now what you've seen is a community continue to come together to fight and express the love that we want to make sure that we never have the question of when our kids are killing each other, what we going to do. You don't have to ask that now, you see it. That's right. That's right. We doing it because we know that each one of these people behind me come from the same poison that poisoned our community to kill one another, but now it's healing our community because they know exactly what time it is to make that happen. See, this is what happens when collective leadership comes together. Not separation, but unification of people that talk and move with a purpose. As long as we do that, we'll have the results that we want. Community, never leave it up to government. Influence the government you want to protect our children.
Right, that's right, that's right.
Because at the end of the day, if you want to see all of our kids have a better life, expose them to a higher quality of life. And the way we expose them to a higher quality of life is by being the example we want them to see. I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna end on. Some may get it, some may not get it. Someone told me the other day, Ed, you know, for a lot of people, they see you as a role model. I said, a role model? I said, I'm not a role model. I'm not a role model for anybody in this city. See, role models are something that is a title that people gave people to put them on a pedestal to watch them fall. I'm not a role model. But if my story inspires you, if my story from a single teenage mom, if my story from a low-income community, if my story from one who failed in college to graduate from college, from the same man that did my commencement speech that said there would be a first black mayor of the city of Pittsburgh and put it in Radio Golf, if my story inspires you, if my story inspires you as someone who came up the ranks of the democratic system, if my story inspires you, if my story inspires you of one that knows what it means to understand violence, because I watched my daddy raise my sister's 3 kids after she was murdered, if my story inspires you, then don't call me a role model. Call me the inspiration that came to this office to give this city a better life for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gainey, for that inspiration. I hope many of us who are here can carry that message forth to the youth. At this time, we will have the bill signing with President Daniel Lavelle and the mayor.
I always had, me and him talked about it, but I want to ask him publicly, why he'd even believe in Stop the Violence when it was first being established, founded. Won't you just talk about it for a second before we go ahead and do this?
Sure. So this really came about after the heels of George Floyd's murder. And nationwide, the country was talking about divesting in the police. And there was a movement here within the city of those coming to council say, stop funding the police, divest in the police. But that's not what I heard the community say. Okay. What the community said was, no, we need police. But more than the police, we need resources ourselves to save ourselves. So many of these organizations you mentioned in your comments have been doing the work with no funding.
Come on now.
Imagine what would happen if government actually invested in them, as opposed to simply trying to let them scratch along. And so what we did was, as opposed to divesting in the police, we said a portion of our general fund at the city, 10% of this, 10% of what would be the city's will go to the police should go to an investment fund that's going to directly invest in the community so that they can actually do the work themselves and they can be a partner with government. It's not government dictating, but they're actual partners with us in solving and creating and healing our communities. And by the numbers that show on that board, we've done exactly that. We're at an all-time low in violence. You stated it, no child last year who was a teenager was killed. That's the first time in decades in this city. And it's because of the work of these people.
Hey, let's give him, come on, give it up, John, give it up. All right, let's do it, Daniel, go ahead. Felicity, come on up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Stand in between here with me and with me and Council President. Put your hand on it. Put your hand on it. Let's do it. Did I mess it up?